Hello, and welcome to AMD News. My name is Kayla Tallarico, and I'm your host. Good evening to the workers across the nation involved in the railroad strike. Thousands of workers were seen this morning walking off their job sites in protest. But what exactly were they protesting? We have two reports, beginning with the nationwide railroad strike with AMD's Ashley Scaravaggio.
Earlier this morning, witnesses have reported over 300,000 railroad workers seen walking off the Pullman job site in protest. Critics say that this was caused by Pullman cutting wages by 25%. While receiving this information, our staff decided to look further into the situation. It was discovered that all workers of the Pullman Palace Car Company are required to live in the Pullman Company Town, currently located in Illinois. These company towns call for high rents and expensive goods from stores owned by Pullman. After cutting these workers' wages by a significant amount, the workers quickly went into debt, which is taken straight out of their paychecks. When interviewing a worker from the area, we were told that they attempted to take a civil approach. Let's send it over to Rachel live in Illinois.
Thank you, Ashley. This is Rachel reporting live, and we are here at the Pullman Company Town here in Illinois. I am here with just a few thousand of the Pullman workers on strike today. This is
Sarah, Marianne,
Beatrice. So tell me your reasons for protesting here today.
Pullman has been treating his workers unfairly.
Have you done anything to resolve this?
We tried taking a civil approach by attempting to negotiate.
What was Pullman's response to this?
Pullman fired 3 workers in order to shut the plant down.
Thank you. This is Rachel from AMD News, and now back to the studio.
Thank you, Rachel. Up next, we have a live interview with Susan B. Anthony after this short break.
Have you ever had a pencil break on you during a literacy test?
Yeah.
Well, now if you try Ticonderoga's pencils, you'll never have a problem again.
Wow, thanks.
Welcome to Pullman Palace Car Company Town, where all workers are obligated to live. We have extremely high rent, expensive goods from Pullman-owned stores, and fees for the use of church and library. Additionally, workers' debts are taken straight out of their paychecks. Bonus, workers are paid 25% lower. Call now at 1-800-COMPANY-TOWN to move today.
Susan, what was the most challenging thing you came across when touring the nation while presenting your dedicated speech?
In 1872, I was in the presidential election. I voted illegally. I was arrested and tried to fight the charges. It was unsuccessful. I ended up being fined $100. I still have not paid it to this day.
Susan, what was it like growing up in a politically active family?
It was very public and unappealing to many families at the time. They worked to end slavery in the abolitionist movement. They were also a part of the temperance movement.
What made you decide to partner up with Elizabeth Cady Stanton?
Stanton was calling for the same rights to be granted to all regardless of race or sex. She and I were the 2 women fighting for the same thing. She influenced me by sharing her thoughts and passions.
Was there any inspiration when forming the New York State Women's Rights Committee with partner Stanton?
I was inspired to fight for women's rights while campaigning against alcohol. I couldn't speak because of my gender. How unfair. I wanted the production and sale of alcohol limited or stopped completely.
Susan, you must have had plenty of goals growing up. You are a woman of perseverance and determination. How has this helped your voice?
I was denied a chance to speak at the temperance convention because I was a woman. This gave me determination to show the world that I have a purpose.
Thank you, Susan. See you back at the studio for AMD Kelly Humphrey's Fact or Fiction segment.
Have you heard? The amazing philosopher and writer John Dewey has been recently brought up in many rumors of a new book being released. Dewey, as most know, writes tremendous books about education and philosophies of life. However, our sources are unknown to whether this new rumor is true. For the sake of many American people, I hope the rumor is true. Reading John Dewey's books really impacts the thoughts of many readers. Dewey is a genius when it comes to studying human interaction and educational teachings. Everyone should definitely get this new book if it comes out, so you too can delve into the deep thoughts of the professional all of us love. But is he releasing it? Seems to be Alright, now on to Kayla Tallarico for the traffic report.
I'm Kayla for AMD News, and now for the traffic report. It seems like we have a huge backup on I-95. This must be because of the railroad strike. More than 300,000 railroad workers have stopped working due to unfair treatment, and the railroads are not up and running because of this. Not only have people not been able to travel, but products are also not being delivered. This has caused a product backup for many companies and consumers alike. We are asking for people to call in now and share their opinions on the strike and everything being affected by it.
Isn't this supposed to be about traffic, not another news story? Please just get back to the point. I'm trying to figure out the best way to my job at Frank's Fabric Factory, and I'm leaving in an hour.
Oh wait, I'm getting something from the studio. Caller, I don't think you're getting into work soon. This just in. Frank's Fabric Factory has just been shut down by local authorities. Pennsylvania already passed laws forbidding child labor, but Frank and his business partners were sneaky about getting children to work for less than they deserved. And they were working in conditions that have caused physical, stunted, and mental growth. The buildings that the children were forced to work in were poorly lit, ventilated, and overheated. Inexperienced children were not only forced to work to help provide for their families, but were also not trained properly for the jobs they were supposed to be doing, and often the equipment they used malfunctioned. When the local authorities found out about the scandal, they immediately took action, and soon enough, the children whose lives were once in danger will be enrolled in schools and daycares. Hopefully, they will be able to put this traumatic time in their lives behind them and return to just being children. Filthy Frank will never get away with this again. Next up, AMD's Ashley with a live interview with John Dewey, followed by Rachel, who will tell us about the sewing machine.
I'm Ashley from AMD News, and apparently John Dewey's inside this building right now.
John!
Are you releasing a new book? Tell us.
John!
When are you going to release it? Will it be on education? Please.
The novel Sewing Machine. Would you like to save time, money, and effort? The recent newscast of the horrid child labor into fabric factories has created an opportunity for individuals to produce their own personal sewing needs. In the blink of an eye, you will be able to have made your own beautiful dress, tablecloth, handkerchief for your husband for special outings, and Sunday's best clothing for your children to show off your sewing skills. Women in the radical movement for the right to vote can create and make their own banners. The novel Sewing Machine opens the door to free time and endless opportunities to create individual attire. And now back to the studio with Kayla.
Thank you, Rachel. That's all for this lovely evening, June 4th, 1890. I'm Kayla for AMD News, and thank you for watching tonight.